Hey guys, it's Alex from Code with Alex, and this is SurvivalJS. Yeah. Boys and girls, hackers, nerds, adventurers. After our basic challenge of creating a Hello World app, we're going to dive deep into the jungle and create a second challenge, which is a TODO app. We're skipping the counter. This is just for frameworks. This is I'm not sure which of these three. I think the Hello World is the just the de facto Hello World. It's synonymous with itself. Like Hello World app is basically the first app you do. Mostly counters are done for showcasing of frameworks, and TODO apps are personal projects to try out things. So I'm going to reuse the code from our episode 1, and I want you guys to see if you can like it might be useful for you just to try yourself to see how you would do a certain things before you watch me do it. So I think this would be useful to you. And without further ado, let's get down to the code. Okay, this is my desktop. This is the folder where I put it. I've put the previous code in episode 1. We're not going to start from scratch. We already have a certain huge code base with 2 files. And we're gonna add another file to them with a little bit of styling. Never hurt anyone. We will open it with our favorite text editor named text editor. It's actually gedit, which you can I think install on Mac and on Windows as well. It's the default editor in many distros, but yeah. And we're gonna open again this thing with our web browser, which is not, we're not gonna use the web browser. Let's use Chromium. I just don't want to deal with some of the issues the other browser might have. Okay, and we don't need this. So, this is how we started from last time. Let's just recap. We created this interaction world where input things into input, and then this h1 heading or greeting changes. We created several functions that made our lives a tiny bit easier. Like instead of writing document query select or blah blah blah, just why not write select? And instead of element add event listener blah blah blah, which is on. So this would save time a little bit. Now let's also open the CSS. Okay, well, let's see if I can paste something. Nope. Yeah, I copied the thing. Just going to add font. Use the basic thing, Open Sans. Install it and just put it the default body, font, family, Open Sans. Link, and of course we need to add this link here, and this is because we're lazy again. Bonk. I never cared to remember the interface. I mean, if you put a gun to my head, I might remember it, but it's just you put here in the style and you need to specify text CSS. Now, okay, style CSS open sans. Is it open sans? Yeah, let's make it a little bit. I think the other interesting was Roboto. Yeah, we are diving into the task, guys. One of the things that take a lot of time in web development is tweaking CSS, animations, interactions. Okay, so this is our setup. Let's look at the requirements for this task. Bonk. Yeah. So the basic UI is you have an input, you have a confirm button where you input the task here, then you click here and the task is added to the list. Then in the list, probably we could do this some other day, but you have a checkbox when you finish the task, and you have option to remove items from names. So the basic functionality is to add items and to remove items from the list, and in a future episode we'll track the status. Now let's get back to our ID. We don't need this. And SurvivalJS, it's a TODO app. It's a TODO app. Okay, it's not a person name, it's a task name. Okay. And probably we'll need some kind of list. UL. Just create like a placeholder. Holder task. And button. This would be let's leave it like this. Okay, punk, and we need a button here to add task. Okay. All right. With the CSS, so there are two directions here. This is our basic UI for it, and afterwards we have two directions we can go. We can make this look a little bit better, or we can just work on the functionality. I switch it up from time to time. Right now I just want to clean this up a little bit, so go back there and just call this bonk tasks list. List bonk. We could put yo here, or doesn't matter. This is the CSS selector. We need to remove the list style and add remove some padding. We do the manual hot reloading. And I want this to be, how big is this, more or less? I think the width is around 240 px. Add some background color, which should be not totally white. Okay, make it yeah, of course. There is no linter. Yeah, 250, yeah, let's see. Okay, let's make it here, like this. This is more or less, okay. I will style the list a little bit. Tasks list li ponk with and I'll add some margin here. 4px, 0px. This will make some, and I want some padding, of course. So this would make it, oh. Yep. Box sizing. Well. Punk. And we'll just add a helper class, right? Float, right. Badunk. And punk. Okay, so yeah, this is not the best. Let's add a couple of tasks. Task 1. How it will look. So as you can start to see, there are several facets of web development. One of them is the work on the UI, and okay, so this I feel like is good for start for our for this episode. Let me check quickly how much time do we have left. Oh yeah, almost the full time. Should put it in 2 episodes, but I want to have the initial functionality. So it's a good feedback for me in any case. So after we've done the basic UI and the basic how it will look, CSS. It's time to do basic functionality. And in the app logic, instead of grid, we'll create add task name and remove task index. This could be ID, but because we will use index, we just have that. So, and do something that is shunned upon in modern day development is we'll have something like a state machine, but it's not going to be a state machine, it's going to be just a state variable, and it's going to be called tasks. Let's call it state tasks. So it mirrors the should say it. It mirrors how we would approach web development nowadays. Okay, so this will push the things to the app logic, and I'll here app state, app UI logic, UI logic. This will be controller, because we have actions, or let's see, app actions and app UI. So this task would be state tasks push name. Okay, and this would be so what would be the easiest thing to do it? Filter. Yeah, let's do this. State tasks filter. We'll do an assignment. Bonk. Tasks, state tasks filter. Task name and index. Is it filter index? MDN. Here, the second element is the index. Yeah. So let me remove this. Is it preferences, plugins, bracket completion, document statistic, file browser panel, finding files, mode lines, source code browser, spell checker. Where is the overlay? Up. We don't need this. If we had an outline, it would be nice. So let's add our elements. What does this called? Task name. Task name. Oh. And I think this was const add task selects. This is ID, okay. So, it's good because we have 3 different tasks list selectors. Okay. Now, come to think of it, it might have been easier to create a counter. And we'll need several other DOM functions. One of it is to add and sorry, parent child. Punk. And let's call this append. And okay, const task list build tasks list rebuild. Let's call this task 1. And let's make it 3 so that we know there's something different. Okay. And append, before append I want a create. Create. Parent child and right. Let's split this. Okay, let's keep things simple. Parent or tag name. Tag and parent would be optional. Okay, let's keep things simple. Document create element. This was it. Okay. We can refactor this a little bit, but I think this is the minimum things that we need to make it work. And build task list. Okay, so and const init app punk. Need this. If when we click this element, we want to trigger add task. Add task f target, no. We need task name L dot value, and we need to rebuild or render task list. And I'll just call this render, and I'll just call this init. Okay. Okay, we don't have helpers, so I don't know if things will be a task. Okay. And we need to render it in any case. Okay. And we need to init pump. And the render would be, we'll get task list L. We'll set the inner HTML of it to be 0. Is an easy way to remove these child elements. Refresh this. Add task L. This is add task, it's not task name. Okay. Okay. Punk. Step 1, put this, and then we'll go through the tasks. Tasks. State tasks for each. Task index. Remember that we want to remove things at some point. Const task L equals create li on task L must remove task L button and we'll add it a class to it. Class list, right, and inner text content 0. Okay. For the task elements, we needed text content to be task, and then we need to move task L, click the button. Want to trigger remove task. Want to put the index. Can, and then we need to add append to the task L the remove. And then remove this, append this to tasks list L. Okay, let's refresh. Okay. We have task 1 and task 2. Argument list, okay. Up 41. Oh, okay. Okay, doesn't work. Okay. Oh yeah. Bonk. Click, remove task index. Let's see if add task works. Task 4. Task, bonk. Ah, we need to rebuild it, yeah. Render, yeah. Bonk, yeah. Task 4. Add tasks, chunk, yeah. And now this is the basic functionality. This code can be refactored, for sure, but it's a nice start. Thank you, and next time we will expand on this and see how can we make it better, how can we refactor it a little bit, make it a little bit more functional without that much side effects. And yeah, see you next time.